Good morning. My name is Tami Lewis, and I run the Facebook group Parenting with Purpose. And it is a place where basically we just support moms and love on them. I have 4 boys, and I've raised them. They're adults now. And Jenny and I partner together in that group to give wisdom and hope and direction to moms. And so that's what I do. I'm a speaker, and basically I'm just a mom who loves other moms and wants you guys to succeed. I feel like you guys are raising the next generation. That's what I just did. And it's important. It changes the world. And so that's what I do. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the biggest issues I hear about in our group, which is discipline. Tami, how do you discipline this? What do I do if my kids are yelling? What do I do if my kids keep hitting each other? What do I do if my kids just won't obey? And I want to bring to you 4 steps that I used in my home that really made an impact on how my kids listened and why they listened, which is super cool. So, first things first, before we go there, I want you to think about, where are you heading? If you don't have vision, then you kind of parent kind of like a flag in the wind, right? You're like, I just do what I do because I don't think they're supposed to jump on the couch, but I don't know why. It doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good when they yell. It doesn't feel good when they hit, but I don't really have a vision for them. I want you to stop right here, even pause the video and go, what is it that I want my children to become? Who am I trying to raise? Are you trying to raise kids who are adults, who are respectful of others? Are you trying to raise adults who have a passion in life? Are you trying to raise adults that know how to survive in the world? Because that will form your discipline, right? If I want a child to understand how to do laundry when they leave my house, well then I need to train that when they're 8. Okay, and that's something you can work towards then when they're little, knowing where you're headed. The word says, without vision, the people perish. And I strongly believe in that in your home, is making sure you have a vision for your home. You can find me on YouTube. It's Tami Lewis, and look up creating a vision statement for your home if you need direction on that. Okay. So when we know where we're going, discipline becomes easier because you have a reason to discipline. You know what you're trying to train in those kids. So let's talk about what discipline, the 4 steps that I use in my home of creating a discipline action. Number 1, this is, if you get anything out of this today, I would say take this away. Preventative discipline is way more effective than reactive discipline. What does that mean? Preventative discipline is knowing where your child struggles, right? My child is struggling with hitting. My child is struggling with yelling. My child is struggling with not obeying. When you identify those items that your kiddo is having a difficulty with, or that you're having a difficulty with in your home about your child, preventative discipline means you sit down ahead of time with them and you train the action you want them to imitate. So if it's hitting, you might sit down beforehand with a puppet and talk to them about how we use our hands gently with each other. How are you going to treat, Mr. Frog? And you practice and role play with it. If you're talking about screaming in the home over dinner, you might talk about what type of voices we use in our home and why we use them, because it's respectful to the other person. Because it's hard for mom to focus when it's so loud and they're screaming. And mom needs a quieter home. So we're going to talk about at the dinner table how we use a quiet voice when we're asking to watch the television or when we're asking for brother to give us something. Preventative discipline is training what you expect them to do. Whereas reactive discipline is after the fact going, stop it, no, this isn't what I wanted you to do. And there's a lot of no's in reactive discipline. And yes, that will happen. Absolutely, that's part of the training. But if you focus more on the preventative and training what you want them to do, training the yeses, how do you want them to behave, you will have much less of the reactive discipline. And you'll be able to talk about what's going wrong, because they have a moral compass of where they're headed. They understand better that I use an inside voice because it's really hard on mom's ears when I'm screaming in the home. So when they scream, You can reiterate that. Remember, that's really hard for me. And that, oh, I don't want to be hard on mom, right? That's preventative disciplining. It's setting those expectations up beforehand, training the way you want your children to react or to behave in a grocery store before you enter. I can't stress that enough. If you come out with this talk with anything, that's the one thing. Preventative discipline is way more effective than reactive discipline. So that's my number one tip is if you want discipline in your home, definitely do heavy preventative. Train what you want. Talk to your kiddos about what you expect. We're talking 1, 2 years old, right? Tell them how your home runs. Let them know how we behave in this home. And they will follow suit. Now, you'll still have to do reactive discipline. That's just part of life. We all mess up. But that'll be a lifesaver. Try that for a week and see how that changes. Message me. Let me know in my Facebook group. Message me and tell me how that went for you. Okay, that's number one. Number two on discipline in my home was very clear instructions. You need to make sure that your kiddos know who you're talking to, what you want them to do, and when it is to be done. Clear instructions. Okay, mama, if you are in the kitchen and you just simply tell your teens, we'll talk teens right now, I need somebody to do these dishes. These dishes need to be done. That is not a clear instruction. It's not. And I'm just calling you on your stuff right now. Telling your child you need to clean up your mess. That does not give clear instructions. The clear instruction is, Tanner, I need you to come wash the dishes and put them away, and I need it done within the next 5 minutes. Great. He knows who, what needs to be done, and when it needs to be done. Or, Timmy, I need this room picked up. I need all your toys put in this basket, and I'd like it done. You can play for 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to give you a time that says this is when it's to be done. And so after those 5 minutes of play, we're going to do this. You see, Timmy knows he needs to put his toys in the basket, and he knows it's going to happen in 5 minutes. Those are clear instructions. And I tell you, that will change the dynamic of your household. Instead of you just yelling out instructions of this needs to be done, I need you to do this, it's who, what, and when. Right? If you want to add the why, more power to you, Mom. I love that. Why are we doing it? Because this helps keep our house clean. Because I appreciate that you're a team member in our home, and I love that you participate in the cleanliness of our home. Who, what, when, and why. That'd be awesome. Okay, so preventative discipline is my number one tip. Number two is clear instructions. And number three is the one that most moms don't like as much. I know I don't like it as much. But also the third is clear consequences. What will happen if they don't do it? Now, this doesn't have to be nasty. You're going to be sent to your room. No, it's just if you don't choose to help with the dishes right now, well, you're not going to eat till it's done. That's just how our household runs, right? I need you to do this, and if you don't choose to do it, then you're going to wait to have dinner until it's finished because I need it done. Or, I need this done, and if they choose not to do it, there's going to be a timeout if you don't obey. And you do the timeout and you hold to that consequence. Now, a lot of moms talk about natural consequences, and I love natural consequences, but I want to clarify what they are and what they're not. Because I hear from a lot of that 8 to 12-year-old, or 8 to 18 actually, parents where they're like, well, I tried the natural consequences and it didn't work. I left the dishes in the sink and they just piled up and piled up and piled up and they just made a Jenga out of it, right? And the natural consequence that they think of is, well, the dishes are going to pile up. Let me tell you, that is not a consequence to a kiddo. They don't care. They don't care at all that the dishes piled up. They don't care if the trash pile's high. In fact, it's a challenge. Can I put another piece on and balance it? It's a total challenge for them. That is not the natural consequence. The natural consequence is if the trash doesn't get out, well, we pay for trash pickup, so you're going to have to help participate in that payment. That's a consequence, right? If you don't choose to turn off the video game when I've asked you to, well, the video games are just going to be gone for the next week. Those are natural consequences. Mom, you actually set the natural consequence. The natural consequence is not just what happens in the world, it's what you say will happen in the world. And so you can tell them that this is what will happen. If you choose not to take the trash out, okay, that's going to be coming out of if you do allowance or if they work for money, whatever. Or, you're not going to be able to eat dinner until it's done. No big deal. You're going to eat, right? It's not like I'm going to starve you, but you're providing a natural consequence of what needs to be done. So yeah, come have dinner with us, but take the trash out first. You see, that's the natural consequence. It's not just what happens in the world. Okay, so preventative discipline, huge change for you. It will change your world. Clear instructions and clear consequences. The last thing, and this is one of the most important, I guess all of them are important, but follow up with the heart. The heart is the moral compass you're giving your children of why these things are important. So it's not just take the trash out. It's not just clean up your toys. It's we need to clean up the toys because our household just feels better that way. We need to take the trash out because, well, it stinks and mom likes a clean house. We don't want it to smell, right? You're part of the team, and I appreciate that you're part of the team. That's the heart, is I love that you help clean up in this home. I love that you obey when I ask you to do something because our home just feels better when we all work together. I love that you talk in a soft voice because that honors your sister, right? We train the heart. Yes, we give the actual instructions. Yes, we give the consequences, but we really train and we teach the moral compass. And what will happen is then your children start making their own decisions to obey, their own decisions to help with the house. When you ask them something, they do it with a nicer heart, and that changes the atmosphere in your home. It truly does. So those are my 4 steps to discipline. And I tell you, I used this like constantly. I still use it. I still think about preventative parenting. I still give clear instructions and consequences. And now I have 18-year-olds, so the consequences are a little different. It changes as they get older, but we still definitely talk the heart. Okay, so those are 4 things I wanted to bring to you. I am giving away today. I have courses online. Go to my website is attractwell.com/parenting with purpose. And I have a course in there called Create a Frazzle-Free Home. That is one of the first courses I put together. I'm giving it away to one person I don't know how Amanda is doing the giveaways, but I'm giving a course away to you. And that was one of the first courses I put together that changed the way my family ran. I had 2 boys, and I didn't want at the time, and I didn't want chaos in my home. I needed quiet. You can tell that's something very, very important to me. And so this was something I implemented in our home, and it's 4 steps not 4 steps, but 4 activities I implemented in the home that changed my children forever. It really did. They actually still implement these things on their own as a college student. No joke. It's great to see them go, yep, I need to do these things because it changed our home. So that is Create a Frazzle-Free Home. I'm giving one of those courses away. However, Amanda does that giveaway. And so make sure you participate in that. I think you'll really find it helpful, particularly if you have that 0 to like 5 or 6 year old age. It's life-changing for you. All right, so that's Create a Frazzle-Free Home. If you don't win it, please go to attractwell.com/parenting with purpose, and you will be able to purchase it yourself. So, all right, God bless. Feel free to connect with me in our Facebook group. I would love to see you. And God bless. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you try these tips, connect with me and let me know how it goes. All right, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.